Hello everyone, Jim's Reviews and How-Tos here. Today I'm going to talk about the Traxxas Slash and how you can win races with it. Now, a lot of people in the professional racing community, or the club community I should say, look down on the Traxxas because they look at it as more of a toy. It's not professional. I personally have a low-C TLR. I have a short course truck. I have a team associated SC 10.2 factory team. But the most fun I've ever had doing RC is racing a bone stock Traxxas Slash. We're talking brushed motor, not brushless. We're not Valenian, none of that. This is the most fun I've ever had. I call it the gateway drug to RC. And the reason for that is this is what hooks you and gets you in. Now, I ran modified short course for a very long time with my team associated truck with a 8.5 turn brushless in it. A lot of power, hit every jump, lots of fun. Well, we started the Spec Slash class with the stock trucks, and I've won more races with my stock Slash. I've also even won some modified races with a stock Slash. And I'm going to show you the setup that I have done. I don't know if you can see in the background here, I won the Nevada State Championship here at RC Tracks of Las Vegas, and also there's a Electric Point Series in Spec Slash. So this is my race-winning truck, and I'm going to show you, I have no secrets, I'm going to show you my setup, and I'm going to explain each part of the setup and why I have it set up that way. And you can take away from that, and hopefully I'll see you at the winner's circle. So let me show you. Okay, so here she is. This is the race-winning truck that I've been running for quite a while. Stock body. A lot of guys, you can run a different body in this class at our track. Some tracks may not allow it, but I run the stock body. You can still see all the dirt from the last race on it here. Okay, here is the truck. Now I'm going to walk you through each setting and why it's set that way. Okay, let's start with the obvious up front here. These are some of the things you can change. You look up rules for Spec Slash at your track, see what they have. The only things we are allowed to change other than the stock truck at our track is you can change the body, which I don't bother with. I run the stock one. You can change your receiver. I run an Airtronics radio to run some of my other RCs, so I have that changed here. And of course my transponder for racing at the track. And then you can change your battery. And I run a 2-cell LiPo. I'd recommend a LiPo battery over the nickel metal hydrides. They just work a lot better. I run a shorty pack, 4.2, and a couple reasons for that. Shorty pack, actually I had left over from one of my buggies. I have it spaced out with a couple pieces of foam here, basically so it fits, the battery clamp can fit around it. And I run a 4.2, and there's a reason for that. You want a lightweight battery, especially with a Traxxas Slash. It has a high center of gravity, so you want a lightweight battery. It's fairly light, and I have plenty of runtime. After 5 or even 6 minute heat or main, I'm only discharged about 50% on this. I still have half battery left. So it comes off the track at about half battery, which is perfect. And that's why I run a 4.2 battery, also for the weight and for the runtime. A couple other things, of course, stock, Traxxas Slash XL5, 12-turn Titan motor, nothing special done to it. I clean it and re-oil the bushings every now and then, that's all. No tuning done whatsoever, completely stock. Stock steering servo, everything has to be stock. The only thing you can change is the battery and the radio. Now, suspension setup, that's the most important thing on these. You can tune the stock suspension, you can't make changes to it. But number one, I would do first thing on these trucks is the stock shocks come with 30 weight shock oil. I run team associated 50 weight, all 4 corners. And you must use shock oil, silicone shock oil. Don't use motor oil, anything like that will tear up the seals. You want to use silicone shock oil. I run 50 weight, all 4 corners. Sounds very heavy to some of you guys out there that run a low-C or an associated. Those are different shocks. These are plastic bodies. They have a lot more tolerance in them. The 50 weight works excellent. It's not, it lands like a wet towel, which is what you want. Now, in the front, I'll start here, shock position. Now these I have in the outer position. The lowers, that's the only part you can adjust. I recommend running them on the inner position normally. Only reason these are on the outer position is because we're running on a sugar track, which is high traction. High traction, I move the fronts to the outer. Normal track, I run them on the inner for more droop, which gives you more control coming off of the jumps. Now alignment in the front end, I run 1 degree of toe in. Where toe in, basically the front tires are toed in like this, 1 degree. And that gives the truck a little more stability down the straightaways, makes it easier to drive. Easier to drive means consistent. Consistency is what wins you races. So I run it 1 degree toe in, and then your camber, which is the amount the tires are leaning in at the tops. They're leaning in more at the top than on the bottom. Those I run about 2 degrees camber, negative camber, which means the tops of the front wheels are 2 degrees in more than the lower part. So that's the front suspension setup. Rear suspension, of course, the rear toe is not adjustable. It's already set. You can't change that. I run the rear shocks. Let me flip this over so we can see the bottom here. Second hole from the inside. So first hole, second hole. Put it in the second hole. I leave it there for every track. Some guys like to move these out, and it gives you a little more response on high traction surfaces at the I don't like the way it jumps with it further out, because what happens is the rear wheels don't drop as far. And it's a little bit harder to control on the landing. Remember, easy to drive means easy to control means consistent. So that's why I run these second from the inside every single track. I do not change this setting at all. Front ones, inside normally, outside high traction. These, leave them on the second hole. You can play around with that. You can move it out, try it, see how you like it in practice, see if you like it better. I win races with it on the inside. Now the Traxxas has a high center of gravity chassis. You can see here, it's got these little risers that come up. The chassis sits much higher than the suspension does. And what you want to do, you want to get this truck as low as possible. And so what that means is on your front shocks, you have a spacer that these come with usually from the factory. I take that out. You want to run just this little black collar for the spring seat and nothing else. You want to run no spacers in the front. These are bone stock springs, bone stock shocks, 50 weight oil, no spacers. In the rear, 50 weight oil, stock springs. You want to run 1 thick spacer that it comes with, 1 of the thick ones, nothing else. And that's going to give you a good ride height. The front is still slightly higher than the rear, which makes it easier to drive. Now some of the guys I have raced with will, and some tracks allow this, they will take these off, they'll cut these out and they'll direct solder the wires together for more power. It's not necessary. You really don't see a benefit. I'll give you my #1 secret for winning races with this truck. Absolute #1 secret. Don't crash. That's it. Don't crash. What happens is you can make little changes like soldering wires, you can tune suspension, you can do all of that. All of it does you absolutely no good whatsoever if you crash, because by the time the turn marshal or corner marshal gets to you, you've already lost 5 to 10 seconds off your time. So #1, do not crash. So that's the race winning setup. There's no secrets. I'll tell anybody at the track my setup, and I'll even let you drive my truck.